Every time I see her in person,
Yes,
it reconfirms my affection and my absolute. I mean, I just am just
Good for
enamored
you.
with Governor Sarah Palin. We got to see her
yesterday was amplified.
Yeah,
We had a thing called the Combat Fishing Tournament.
largest military fishing tournament in the country.
Yes. And we were the MCs of the banquet after all the boats got back in.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And the
Cool.
whole thing. And the governor, well, the first dude went
Right.
fishing.
Right.
Caught himself a nice 143-pound halibut.
Right, he caught the second biggest fish out there.
Yeah, beautiful fish.
Of course.
Right.
And lo and behold, in walks the governor.
Surprise visit.
We didn't know she was going to be there.
Nobody knew. She's like, well, yeah, I was in the neighborhood, which is kind of funny because the neighborhood happens to be this little fishing
Village, kinda, yes.
It's not really on the way. So in
Right.
walks the governor, and I got to tell you, everything stops.
Of course.
Everything stops.
She walks into a room. I don't care if there's 5 people or 5,000 people. Everything stops. Direct attention on her. And I tell you, there are no bigger fans, I believe,
Oh,
of Governor Palin than our military.
I'm sure.
They gave us such a greeting. It was unbelievable.
Right.
Well, good for you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys deserve a lot of credit for getting this way ahead of the curve, way before she was a national figure, and also sticking by her and the truth of this matter when a lot of the news media, especially there in Alaska, which has really upset me, greatly.
Uh-huh.
And I don't even live there, but just seeing it from afar, especially the Anchorage Daily News. I mean, what an absolute farce and a joke some of their coverage has been.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a travesty. And, it really is the character assassination nationally of Governor Palin, and to a lesser extent in Alaska, is one of the great human travesties of the modern history of the news media. And that's why I've dedicated my life to trying to correct the historical record about what's really happened here.
Well, and this is what I think is so great, because I've talked to people. We have a lot of listeners that listen to us now in the lower 48, more so than ever before, because a lot of attention was heaped upon this show with our affiliation with Governor Palin and our friendship and phone calls and interviews and things like that. So there's a lot of people that listened to us during that time and then just stayed with us because they liked what we had to say other than just the political stuff.
Right.
But some listeners down the lower 48 that have had a chance to see your documentary, Media Malpractice, and they said it is absolutely wonderful.
Well, I appreciate that, and I have to tell you, I concur. It really has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. I mean, in all seriousness, all I did was I was just basically the conduit through this story getting told. I was the one who was so obsessed with it and had the wherewithal and the resources and the background as a documentary filmmaker to put it all together. And I knew someone had to do it, and thankfully Governor Palin really enabled us to send this to the next level by doing that exclusive interview with us back in January from her home in Wasilla, and really just letting it all out and telling the real truth of what happened here, almost in a cathartic type of situation. And we've been screening the film since then all over the country. In fact, I just got back from New York City where we screened the film, and the crowd even there went bananas for this thing. And we have not had one screening yet where people just weren't unbelievably moved and also didn't have a fantastic time. I mean, this is the beauty of this film, is that it's both educational, somewhat cathartic, as well as being a damn right good comedy. I mean, it is a comedy because if you're not going to laugh, you might as well cry. And so most people decide that they're going to laugh at the absurdity of a lot of the stuff that happened here. And frankly, Governor Palin is a very funny person, as you guys know.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of the moments from her interview are very funny. So, it really has nothing to do with me. I have absolutely zero qualms about urging people to see the documentary, and I'm very excited. I mean, of all the screenings we've done, I am most excited and have the greatest anticipation for coming to Anchorage next Thursday. It's by far the most important screening we're going to do of the dozens we've done across the country, and hopefully it'll be our largest crowd. So I'm very much looking forward to being at the Fireweed on Thursday.
Right. Now, here's the deal. The Fireweed Theater is not cheap. But they were able to cut Mr. Ziegler a little bit of a break on renting the 1,000 seat. Now, this is the largest theater privately owned in I think Alaska, with 1,000 seats in it. Now, we're only charging $5 to go see this.
That's right.
Which is dirt cheap. But
Right.
any profits that might come out of this are going to go to the Toys for Tots drive, which, the Bob Mark Show have been behind since the early 90s. So very worthwhile. And we would just like to say to anyone out there that's even mildly interested in just the complexities and how frightening the media can be when they choose to
target someone,
and misuse this incredible power that you and I are part of.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it'll open a lot of people's eyes.
If you think for 1 minute, like a lot of people here say, well, she gets the unfair treatment from local media. You got to see this movie, and it goes to levels unheard of.
Right.
No,
on
that's
what
exactly
they do to
right.
the government.
And as far as the fireweed is concerned, we are very hopeful that we'll be able to make a significant contribution to Toys for Tots, but we need it to be close to a sellout.
Oh, yeah.
We're on our way to that. We expect to be able to get to that level, but we obviously need people to be engaged and to go to your website and to my website, howobamagotElected.com or MediaMalpracticeMovie.com. Go to the movie events page. There's a ticket link there. It's incredibly easy. It's just $5.
Right.
Tell your friends about it, because obviously this is not something that the mainstream news media is likely to give us a lot of play about. And if they do, they're probably going to attack me, which is fine. I'll take the heat on this, just like Governor Palin has the courage to take the heat too. So we understand what we're up against here, but we need people in Anchorage to come out and around Anchorage to come out and see this. You'll have a great time, I promise. It's going to be a fantastic event. You guys are going to be there. I will be there. I'll be signing DVDs afterwards, and any profits that we do get from the ticket sales will go to Toys for Tots. Although there are some rather extraordinary costs involved with the age of the theater, which I'm just now learning. But we're going to make our absolute 100% best effort to make sure that there's a significant contribution to Toys for Tots, and we hope people will come out, have a great time, learn about the process, the election, how bad it was. Because I know people in Alaska obviously know Governor Palin far better than people in the lower 48 do, but I'm telling you, you're going to learn stuff from this movie without a doubt.
Well, sure.
Because even Governor Palin learned stuff and from my interview with her, because she was obviously in such a bubble during the campaign. So it's going to be an amazing event, and we're really glad that you guys are helping us out with this, and we hope it's going to go to a good cause.
Oh, absolutely. Now, if you want to get tickets, you can go on bobandmark.com. There'll be a link. There's a link there where you can get tickets. One of the easier ways is to go to howobamagotElected.com. And you can get the tickets right there on the website, $5. And I'm going to pretty much guarantee that there will be a sellout.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
that's a statement. I like your optimism. That's great.
Well,
That's
sure.
fantastic.
I mean, this is Sarah's home state, and I challenge people that aren't even fans of her.
Right.
To go, especially to come see, because you know what? You need maybe your eyes open too, or maybe, this will just be something that you can scoff at and laugh at, but you know what? It is something for everybody, and especially if you're an Alaskan, just to see how this big, huge media machine can operate.
Yes, and you're going to see how little that the general public actually knows versus what they thought they knew,
right?
Considering
the
information they got.
You said a mouthful there, because that's the number one thing that I've learned going across the country screening this film, is how many people just are living in a delusional world because of what they thought they knew was true from the news media. I'll give you an amazing example that relates to one of the most ridiculous things that happened involving your state, and that was that after I did The View, which was a hell of an experience, I'll tell you, to promote the film, I did Barbara Walters' radio show on Sirius, and Barbara Walters actually revealed to me live on the air that she thought that Governor Palin had said that she could see Russia from her house.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this was something that Tina Fey had said, while mocking a fact, which I'm sure most Alaskans are well aware of, that you can, in fact, see Russia from land in Alaska. And here is Barbara Walters, who's been in the media for, 87 years, something like that?
Sure.
And she actually bought into it. The complete and total fabrication. And when we did polls, by the way, you can hear the audio of the Barbara Walters interview at my website in the news section at howobamagotElected.com, and you can also see the poll results we did of voters nationwide who also believed in the same exact farcical myth. I mean, there's so many myths to this day surrounding not just Governor Palin, but the entire campaign. And by the way, if you're a Democrat and you're interested in how the primary season went, there's a whole section of the film that involves with that as well, with a lot of stuff that's never been properly reported. So this is a very expansive film. It's a very funny, entertaining, educational film. We're going to have a great time next Thursday at the Fireweed, and I really hope people will come out. We're making the price. This is the only one we've done for charity. We're making the price as low as we possibly can, simply because I think it's incredibly important that people of all places, Alaska, know the real truth of what happened. And that's really why I did this film, and that's why this is the most important screening we're going to do.